What is it now? Haven't Grey Wardens asked more than enough of the Circle?
I simply came to deliver a message from the revered mother, Sir Mage. She desires your presence.
What her reverence desires is of no concern to me. I am busy helping the Grey Wardens, by the King's orders, I might add.
Should I have asked her to write a note?
Tell her I will not be harassed in this manner.
Yes, I was harassing you by delivering a message.
Your glibness does you no credit.
Here I thought we were getting along so well. I was even going to name one of my children after you. The Grumpy One.
Enough. I will speak to the woman if I must. Get out of my way, fool.
You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. You're not the first woman to tell me that. Wait, we haven't met, have we? I don't suppose you happen to be another mage. And that makes you Duncan's new recruit, I suppose. Glad to meet you. As the junior member of the Order, I'll be accompanying you when you prepare for the joining. Right, that was the name. You know, it just occurred to me that there have never been many women in the Grey Wardens. I wonder why that is. Would that be so terrible? Not that I'm some drooling lecher or anything. Please stop looking at me like that. So I'm curious. Have you ever actually encountered Darkspawn before? When I fought my first one, I wasn't prepared for how monstrous it was. I can't say I'm looking forward to encountering another. Anyhow, whenever you're ready, let's get back to Duncan. I imagine he's eager to get things started. You do? Huh, that's a switch. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, lead on.
Who is that? Grey Wardens?
Well, he's not half as dead as he looks, is he?
My scouting band was attacked by Darkspawn. They came out of the ground. Please, help me. I've got to return to camp.
I have bandages in my pack.
Thank you. I've got to get out of here.
Did you hear? An entire patrol of seasoned men killed by Darkspawn.
Calm down, Sir Jory. We'll be fine if we're careful.
Those soldiers were careful, and they were still overwhelmed. How many dark...
There are Darkspawn about, but we're in no...
How do you know? I'm not a coward, but this is foolish and reckless. We should go back. I am simply trying to stay alive. You do not see me fleeing, do you?
A bit of fear isn't unnatural, you know. Few relish meeting Darkspawn up close. I know I don't. I know I'm relying on you to protect me. Know this. All Grey Wardens can sense Darkspawn. Whatever their cunning, I guarantee they won't take us by surprise. That's why I'm here.
You see, Sir Knight, we might die, but we'll be warned about it first.
That is reassuring.
That doesn't mean I'm here to make this easy, however. So let's get a move on.
Sound the retreat.
But what about the king? Should we not...
Do as I command.
Pull out! All of you, let's move!
Bad dreams, huh? Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight. I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me, too. That's what I'm here for. To deliver unpleasant news and witty one-liners. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on. What do you need? Ask away. Did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact. Well, if you're going to go and pay attention to the facts, then fine. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Our Lehman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough. Our Lehman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care. She did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me. Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming. Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him, you'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story. What do you need? Ask away. Such as they are. That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands. I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us. Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go. I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere. Just left? You mean just left for Eldon? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away. Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you? I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills. Well, it wasn't an easy life, you know. I don't know whether or not you've noticed, but I'm not exactly the Chantry type. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky. I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have. No, it's... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. It's fine. He died a hero. They all did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking. Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I, should probably have told you earlier. I told you before how Al-Eamon raised me, right? That my mother was a serving girl at the castle and he took me in? The reason he did that was because... well... because my father was King Marek. Which made Kaelin my... half-brother, I suppose. How? When would I say that? Oh, by the way, King Marek had sex with a servant and she produced a bastard son. That's me. I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaelin's rule, and so they kept me secret. I'd never talked about it to anyone. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. I'm sorry. You're right, I should have. It's brought me nothing but problems, to be honest. At any rate, that's it. That's what I had to tell you. I thought you should know about it. Let's hope not. I'm the son of a commoner and a Grey Warden to boot. It was made very clear to me early on that there was no room for me raising any rebellions or such nonsense. And that's fine by me. Now, if there's an heir to be found, it's Al-Eamon himself. He's not of royal blood, but he is Kaelin's uncle, and more importantly, very popular with the people. Though, if he's really as sick as we've heard... oh no, I don't want to think about that. I really don't. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens. Oh, lovely. I'm going to regret this. Somehow I just know it. Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe. I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Arl's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. It makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something. No matter how small. I owed the Arl that much. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments. Oh wait, it's not Tuesday, is it? You never asked? No, please don't think that. It's not that I didn't trust you. It's... Please, let me try to explain. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that? Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing. It's just that anyone who's ever found out has treated me differently afterwards. I was the bastard prince instead of just being Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me. For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that Arl Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's all right. Oh, I hope he's all right. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I guess I was just hoping that you would like me for who I am. It was a dumb thing to do. I understand. I wish I could take it back. I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go. Something on your mind? You do? What do you know? Wishes really do come true sometimes. How could I not? You're too pretty not to forgive. Consider it forgotten. You know, maybe this isn't the best time to be thinking about this, but I've something to ask you. Chances are we'll be heading to Denerim soon. And when we're there, I wonder if we might be able to look someone up. No, I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. The thing is, I have a sister, a half-sister. I told you about my mother, right? She was a servant at Redcliffe Castle and she had a daughter. Only I never knew about her. I don't think she knew about me either. They kept my birth a secret after all. But after I became a Grey Warden, I did some checking and, well, I found out she's still alive. In Denerim. She's the only real family I have left. The only family not also mixed up in the whole royal thing. I've just been thinking that maybe it's time I went to see her. With the blight coming and everything, I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see her. Maybe I can help her. Warn her about the danger, I don't know. Could we? I'd appreciate that. If something happened to her and I never went to at least see her, I don't know if I could forgive myself. Her name is Goldana, and I think she remarried but still lives just outside the alienage. If we're in the area, then, well, it's worth a look. That's my sister's house. I'm almost sure of it. This is the right address. She could be inside. Could we go and see? Will she even know who I am? Does she even know I exist? My sister. That sounds very strange. Sister. Oh, now I'm babbling. Maybe we should go. Let's go. Let's just go. Hello?
Hey, you have linens to wash? I charge 3 bits on a bundle. You won't find better. And don't trust what that Natalia woman tells you either. She's foreign and she'll rob you blind.
I'm not here to have any wash done. My name's Alistair. Well, this may sound sort of strange, but are you Goldana? If so, I suppose I'm your brother.
My what? I am Goldana, yes. How do you know my name? What kind of tomfoolery are you folk up to?
Look, our mother, she worked as a servant in Redcliffe Castle a long time ago before she died. Do you know about that?
You! I knew it! They told me you was dead. They told me the babe was dead along with mother, but I knew they was lying.
They told you I was dead? Who? Who told you that?
Them's at the castle. I told them the babe was the king's and they said he was dead. Gave me a coin to shut my mouth and sent me on my way. I knew it.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. The babe didn't die. I'm him. I'm your brother.
For all the good it does me. You killed mother, you did, and I've had to scrape by all this time. That coin didn't last long, and when I went back, they ran me off. And who in the maker's name are you? Some tart, following after his riches, I expect.
Hey, don't speak to her that way. She's my friend and a Grey Warden, just like me.
Oh, I see. A prince and a Grey Warden too. Well, who am I to think poorly of someone so high and mighty compared to me? I don't know you, boy. Your royal father forced himself on my mother and took her away from me. And what do I got to show for it? Nothing. They tricked me good. I should have told everyone. I got 5 mouths to feed. And unless you can help with that, I got less than no use for you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Well, he found it. And what good is that to me? None, that's what. Unless he can see to it that his family lives as it should.
I suppose maybe I could give her some money for my nieces and nephews. 15 sovereigns, maybe? Would you let me give her that? Then here, Goldana, take this money. I know it's not much, but...
You, a prince, marching in here with your fancy armor and such, and this is all you got to offer? You must think I'm very stupid.
No, wait, I don't think that at all. I want to help, if I can.
You want to help? You go to whatever high and mighty folks you run with, and you tell them you've got nephews and nieces that aren't living as they've a right to. You do that.
Yes, it really seems that way, doesn't it? I wasn't expecting my sister to be so... I'm starting to wonder why I came.
I don't know why you came either, or what you expected to find, but it isn't here. Now get out of my house, the both of you.
I agree. Let's get out of here. Well, that was not what I expected, to put it lightly. I'm sorry I gave her any money at all. This is the family I've been wondering about all my life? That gold-digging harridan? I can't believe it. I guess I was expecting her to accept me without question. Isn't that what family is supposed to do? I feel like a complete idiot. Such as? The only person who ever cared about me was Duncan, and he's gone. Thank you. I'm glad you came with me. Let's just go. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Look, before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister, and that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that. That we are. I have your back. You know that, right? Well, now that that's out of the way, something on your mind? Of course. You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden? You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see." Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare. then laugh themselves to tears. Really? Because I was watching you wolf down food the other day, and I thought, ooh, it's a good thing she gets a lot of exercise. I'll say. I didn't mean it like that. No, don't hit me. I bruise easily. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you? Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come. Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live, give or take. The taint, it's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than waiting. It's tradition. We're all going to die. When Duncan told me, I was angry. He put his hand on my shoulder and said this. It's not how you die that's important. It's how you live. And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. And there you have it. I suppose it is. We're the only ones who can stop the Blight, however. Is there a price too high to pay for that? You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private. He said it wouldn't be long before he'd go to Orzammar himself. I guess he got what he wanted. I just wish it had been something worthy of him. I know. Ending the Blight should make this all worthwhile, right? Something on your mind? Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were... not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome? Oh, I get it. I'll get it out of you yet. So, is this the part where I get to say the same? Oh, I think so. I'll just spring it on you when it's a surprise. Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring. I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know. I'd use my shield if I could, but I think you might actually spot me hiding behind it. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring. Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it. Using the abilities I have came after years of education and discipline that was difficult to achieve, if rewarding. The sword training and religious doctrine all came later. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home? It is. I didn't know you felt that way. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good, either way. I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now. Yes? Of course. Never what? Had a good pair of shoes? I'm not sure I do. Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in winter? Make fun of you, dear lady. Perish the thought. Well, tell me, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter? Good. I hear it's quite painful. I remember one of the younger initiates did it on a dare once, and there was pointing and laughing. Oh, the humanity. I myself have also never done it. That. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course, but, you know. Oh, that's funny. Such cruelty from such a beautiful woman. If you hear sobbing later, that's me crying myself to sleep. Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying. That's what I'm here for. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush. You know, I was just thinking the same thing. Given the circumstances, things could have been so much worse. I'm so grateful that you're you, instead of some other Grey Warden. That sounded better in my head. I just mean to say that I've really come to care about you. Now we just need to be rid of that pesky archdemon, and everything will be back to normal, right? So, all this time we've spent together, you know, the tragedy, the brushes with death, the constant battles with the whole blight looming over us. Will you miss it once it's over? I know it might sound strange, considering we haven't known each other for very long, but I've come to care for you a great deal. I think maybe it's because we've gone through so much together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm fooling myself. Am I? Fooling myself? Or do you think you might ever feel the same way about me? So I fooled you, did I? Good to know. That wasn't too soon, was it? Well, I'll have to arrange that then, won't I? Maker's breath, but you're beautiful. I am a lucky man. Now, let's get back to what we were up to before, lest I forget why we're here. Here, look at this. Do you know what this is? Yes, that's right. Watch as I thrash our enemies with the mighty power of floral arrangements. Feel my thorns, darkspawn. Ah! I will overpower you with my rosy scent. Or, you know, it could just be a rose. I know that's pretty dull in comparison. I picked it in Lothering. I remember thinking, how could something so beautiful exist in a place with so much despair and ugliness? I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't. The Darkspawn would come, and their taint would just destroy it. So I've had it ever since. I thought that I might give it to you, actually. In a lot of ways, I think the same thing when I look at you. I guess it's a bit silly, isn't it? I just thought, here I am, doing all this complaining, and you haven't exactly been having a good time of it yourself. You've had none of the good experience of being a Grey Warden since your joining. Not a word of thanks or congratulations. It's all been death and fighting and tragedy. I thought maybe I could say something. Tell you what a rare and wonderful thing you are to find amidst all this darkness. Haha, you won't land me that easily, woman. I know I'm quite the prize after all. No need to start crying on me or anything. I guess it was just a stupid impulse. I don't know. Was it the wrong one? Cute. Cute. Oh, just what I was aiming for. Ow! You could just stab me in the face first before you say something like that. I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it. Oh? You're lost then. All the ladies go on and on about how suave I am. I don't know how you can resist me like you do. Oh, look, is that a cloud? I expect rain.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you? It's hard not to notice the doe-eyed looks he gives you, especially when he thinks no one's watching. It's almost too sweet for my tastes, and I'm an old lady who should be making lace hearts and fuzzy blankets with animal motifs. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Alistair is a fine lad, skilled in battle, but quite inexperienced when it comes to affairs of the heart. I would hate to see him get hurt. Not intentionally, no. But there is great potential for tragedy here, for one or both of you. You are both Grey Wardens, and he is the son of a king. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do? Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this. You may have to save one or both of you unnecessary anguish later on. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will.
Any different? Just try and stop me. Let's see, where should I begin? How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least. I would too if he could stick to the ribald stories and not so much with the belching and projectile vomiting. How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery, though I suppose the point is that he does lift it, and so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow? Maybe a little. That doesn't stop the question from being relevant. Just answer the question. Oh, you're killing me here. That's a lot to put on a maybe, isn't it? He's an assassin. The crows aren't known for giving up. Maybe he's just biding his time. That's very trusting of you. I guess you must have your reasons. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big. I know. The more I talk to him, the more it seems like his philosophy is not so vile as the Chantry describes it. It's an odd thing to think. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you? I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision? Maybe you're right. It's not as if she could have known that we needed help so desperately after all. Yet, there she was. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life. Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said. Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you? Great. I am thrilled beyond words. No, really. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
It has become very close with the other Grey Warden.
Yes. I suppose I have at that.
I find this difficult to comprehend. It is whiny and weak and constantly laughing.
Then I guess a romance between you and I is completely out of the question. Hmm?
And the attempts at humor, I cannot understand how it is endured.
Well, maybe you should ask her why she likes me so much instead of bothering me with it.
It has a loud mouth. Why its head has not been crushed already is hard to imagine.
Or maybe you just happen to figure she likes me a lot more than you.
Don't be foolish.
Yes, I thought so. Just watch your step, or I'm totally telling.
I'm going to stand over here now.
So, with the boss,
Pardon?
You and the boss, rolling your oats,
I don't know
polishing the footstones,
what you're...
tapping the midnight still, if you will.
What are you going on about?
Forging the moaning statue, bucking the forbidden horse, donning the velvet hat.
Are you just making these up right now?
Nope, been saving them.
I do wonder, is it permissible for two Grey Wardens to... oh, what is the word I search for?
Caboodle?
Fraternize.
What's wrong with fraternizing?
It seems most undisciplined for an organization that claims it will do whatever is necessary to end the Darkspawn threat.
One thing has nothing to do with the other.
Oh no? And what if a Grey Warden was forced to choose between the Warden he loved and ending the Blight? What should his choice be?
That is a ridiculous question.
And I have my answer. Most kind of you.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right? Join you? In your tent? Oh, that's not it at all. Not that I want to seem overeager. I must sound like a fool. You know that I've never done anything like this with anyone. I was quite sheltered after all. I care for you so much. Whenever I think of this, I feel like a bumbling idiot. All hands. I wish I could be better at this. I want it to be right. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot, if you are. Right. I'm going to stop talking now. You know, according to all the sisters at the monastery, I should have been struck by lightning by now. Sure. But if you get hit by the lightning afterwards, it hardly seems like an effective deterrent. You do realize the rest of our little party here is going to talk, right? They do that. Oh sure, now you say that. By tomorrow it'll be icy glares and awkward silences right before battle. Just you watch. So, what now? Where do we go from here? Right, I can handle that. I hope. Before we go, have I told you that I love you? I did. Well, it won't kill you to hear it again, will it? See? Was that so hard? Really don't know how to ask you this. No, I mean, yes. I mean, I'm a little nervous, sure. Not that this is anything bad or frightening or... Well, yes. Oh, how do I say this? You think it would be easier, but every time I'm around you, I feel as if my head's about to explode. I can't think straight. Here's the thing. Being near you makes me crazy. But I can't imagine being without you. Not ever. You're the first woman I've ever spent the night with. And if I have my way, you'll be the last. Good. I'm glad. Let's move on then. We've got a long way to go yet. Wow. You don't hold back on the hard questions, huh? I don't know where this is going. We have the Blight to think of first, don't we? Everything else just seems so... distant. Let's hope we have that option. This isn't really the time for this conversation. Please, let's just talk about this another time.
I have watched you for a time, and perhaps I was wrong. There seems to be something special between the two of you. He seems less guarded when in your company, allows himself to relax, and he seems genuinely happy. I think I was too harsh in my judgment before, and I am sorry. What you have may not last forever. Death and duty may part you, but love's worthiness is not diminished because of that. I should have seen this before. Instead, you learn to cherish every precious moment that you spend together, knowing that it may be the last. And for those of us watching, well, it brings warmth to these old bones to know that something so beautiful can be found in the midst of chaos and strife.
Do you realize that you've been smiling for hours now? Since the last time you and that fool Alistair shot glances at each other, in fact. He must be pleasant enough in bed, for surely I cannot imagine anyone enduring his conversation. Lucky for him that someone is willing to claim him, then. 'Tis a bit sickening to watch you two, but I imagine it at least takes your mind from our situation. Have it your way.
So, you and Alistair? You and Alistair, together, looking contented? You even have a glow about you, so shameless. So, how is Alistair? You know what I mean. Alistair and you, those long nights. He must be quite delightful. You wouldn't be so happy otherwise, I think. He's athletic. That's always nice. He is also good at following instructions, isn't he? Yes, I can see that. Sometimes he reminds me of a very eager puppy. Most men do, actually. That's a good thing. Men like puppies can be trained, especially when it comes to dealing with their women.
Well, we're not exactly alone. What did you have in mind? Oh, but what about our audience? You don't think...
I've seen it a time or two. I won't gawk, trust me.
Well, all right then. Well, we're not exactly alone. What did you have in mind? Oh, but what about our audience? You don't think...
Oh, I think it's cute.
Well, all right then. Well, we're not exactly alone. What did you have in mind? Oh, but what about our audience? You don't think...
Oh, go on. You are both making me ill.
Two birds with one stone. I could get to like this. Well, we're not exactly alone. What did you have in mind? Oh, but what about our audience? You don't think... Oh, never mind. One public display of affection coming up.
Ah, that's too bad. Marrick's boys are charming, aren't they? And happiest when they have a woman to dote upon. Is that why you support him? The way you speak of him, it simply makes me curious. And you think this is what he actually wants? Maybe it is. If so, then he has changed. I'll tell you this, my father must be stopped. Once he is kept from the throne, if it should fall to Alistair, then I will be content. Then I wish you luck, Warden.
So I'm guessing someone told Honora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. Did anyone mention this wasn't my idea? I think she's a great queen. As far as I'm concerned, she's welcome to it. I'm not a political man. I like being a warden. There's real evil out there, and it's something we can fight. It's something we can defeat. Making laws, settling disputes, that's not me. I wouldn't have the first idea how to do it. What do you think I should do? Go ahead and be king, just to let it happen? Good plan. We could go to Orlais, live in sin, and eat cake until the Darkspawn finally catch up to us. Cursed Darkspawn! It's just that everything I've heard about Queen Honora is that she's the one who really ruled here, not Cailan. She's smart, tough, determined. Well, I feel a bit like Cailan's substitute. I think I'll be better off against the Darkspawn. All right, Alistair, enough whining. Thank you, Alistair. That's excellent advice. I'll do my best. About the whining? I know. Someone really needs to slap that one around.
As the arbiter of this dispute, what is your decision? Who will lead for Eldon?
Really? You will? This is where I wake up, usually. Or everyone points and laughs because I have no clothes on.
Honora, the Landsmeet has decided against you.
So, strange story. Tell me if you've heard this one. This fella gets made king, and then gets engaged, all on the same night. I'm not thrilled with the idea of being king. I never wanted it, I told you that, yet here I am. Not much to be done now. I suppose I'm more curious about, you know, the engagement. I like the idea, but are you sure? Oh, I guess that saves me having to ask then. Whew. They'll expect an heir, you know. With the taint in our blood, it's hard enough for a Grey Warden to have a child on their own. For two of them, every Grey Warden I knew who had children had them before they took the joining. Having an heir might not be possible. That's an excellent point. Good thing we got started when we did, huh? I suppose this is something we'll just have to deal with later. My coronation isn't going to happen for some time yet, and we've still the Darkspawn to fight. Our leadman has left for Redcliffe, and he says the armies have almost finished gathering there. We should go to Redcliffe as soon as possible. If we don't deal with the Archdemon soon, it'll get cranky, and nobody wants that.
Do not be alarmed. It is only I. I am well. 'Tis you who are in danger. I have a plan, you see. A way out. The loop in your hole. I know what happens when the Archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be. I offer a way out. A way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual, performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night. It is old magic, from a time before the Circle of Magi was created. Some would call it blood magic, but I think that means little to one like you. From Flemeth, of course. I have known about it for some time. I did. Would you have believed me if I had been the one to tell you? I have my doubts. What I propose is this. Convince Alistair to lay with me, here tonight. And from this ritual, a child shall be conceived within me. The child will bear the taint, and when the Archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish. The Archdemon is still destroyed with no Grey Warden dying in the process. Think about what I offer you. You will live, as will Alistair. You could slay the Archdemon and live as a hero, something no Grey Warden has ever done. In return, I conceive a child, one who will be born with the soul of an old god. After this is done, you allow me to walk away, and you do not follow. Ever. The child will be mine to raise as I wish. Even if I thought Riordan could be convinced, he is unsuitable. I need one who has not been tainted for long. It must be him, and it must be tonight. If you care for him as you seem to, you will convince him to. Consider what the alternative might be. Do you think Alistair will fail to do his duty as the future king and save his country? And if you take the blow instead, he loses the woman he loves. How do you think he would feel about that? I think you have many good reasons to tell him to save his own life. I think you should consider them carefully. This is what my mother intended when she sent me with you. She was the one who first gave me this ritual and told me of what I was meant to do. This does not surprise you, does it? Did you not wonder why Flemeth saved your life? Why she aided you? This is why. What is important is that I am offering this to you now. It will work, and it will save your life. As you wish. I have no doubt he may, but he will not. It is all I ask for in return. Then you have decided? A wise decision. I shall wait here then while you go and speak with Alistair. I urge you to be convincing.
I see you can't sleep either. I also saw Morrigan outside your room earlier, and the look she gave me. Oh, that was icy even for her. Is something up? This is what I get for becoming king. Everyone always brings you the bad news. So what is it then? Rats running amok? Cheese supplies run low? I can take it. I don't care for the sound of that. What are we talking about exactly? Ha ha! All right, that's pretty funny. Nice way to cut the tension. So, what's really up? Cute. This is payback, right, for all the jokes? But you're not joking. You're actually serious? Wow. Be killed by the Archdemon or sleep with Morrigan. How does someone make that kind of choice? You're not actually asking me this, are you? What kind of ritual is this, anyway? What? I must be hearing things, but are you telling me to impregnate Morrigan in some kind of magical sex rite? This child, why would Morrigan want such a thing? Does she want an heir to the throne? Right until it marches up with an army to claim the throne, I'm sure. Look, even if I was willing to entertain this idea, and I'm not saying I am, is this really what you want me to do? Are you sure? No, I can't. I can't do it. You can't ask me to do this, not like this. So, that's how it's going to be, is it? I suppose I'll just have to live with the fact that you have me completely wrapped around your finger. All right, I give up. I'll do it. Oh, where is she? Let's go and get this over with before I change my mind.
'Twould seem your talk is done.
Great. This isn't a dream after all.
What is it to be, then? Has a decision been reached? No. There is no other way.
Oh, you know, dinner would have been nice. Maybe a bit of wine. Or you could knock me out first.
Tempting. Still, I am glad to see that it has been done. Let us go somewhere more private, Alistair, and believe me when I say you will not hate this quite so much as you believe.
This woman beside me is a native of Ferelden, risen to the ranks of the Grey Wardens. She is proof that glory is within reach of us all. She has survived despite the odds, and without her, none of us would be here. Today, we save Denerim. Today, we avenge the death of my brother, King Caelan. But most of all, today, we show the Grey Wardens that we remember and honor their sacrifice. For Ferelden! For the Grey Wardens!
this could be it. Soon this will be finished. One way or another. And I love you. Always.
And then it was over. With the archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come, but the blight had been ended before it had truly begun. Ferelden had been saved, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its new king. The Grey Wardens stood redeemed, and a new age had begun. But at what cost?
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Of those who stood against the Darkspawn siege of Denerim, there is one in particular who deserves commendation. The one who led the final charge against the archdemon remains with us still. An inspiration to all she saved that day. Ladies and gentlemen, may I formally present my betrothed, who will soon be your queen. My friend, it is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. As a reward, and as an engagement present, I offer you a boon of your choice. I suspect you'll have plenty of opportunity to do that as queen, as my advisor, at the very least. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arl Howe, is now granted to the Grey Wardens. There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. So what are your plans? I assume with the wedding you will be remaining in Ferelden. Well, I didn't want to come right out and say it, but I'm relieved you'll be nearby. There's a group of Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you're ready. So, we made it. I'm impressed, aren't you? I was so scared that I might lose you. But here you are. And here I am. Not bad, right? I bet this had something to do with that night. With Morrigan. Why you're still here, I mean. I'm not that dumb. The rest of the Grey Wardens haven't arrived yet from Morlaix. But they've already sent questions. What should I tell them? That a Maleficar saved you and then ran off to have my demon baby? That has a certain ring to it, right? No, I suppose I'll just keep that to myself. I can shrug and look stupid. It's a talent. Speaking of Morrigan, do you know where she went? I'm told she vanished right after the battle. No goodbyes or anything. Very dramatic. I don't imagine she'd be easy to find if she didn't want to be. At any rate, I can't wait to be alone with you. These formal affairs drive me insane. I get to marry the woman I love. I figure there can't be much better than that. I'll let you get to your adoring public. They want to see the hero of Ferelden, and who am I to keep them waiting?
He is safe, and beyond your reach. All you need to know is that the child is an innocent. He knows nothing of the destiny that lies before him. Then what is your concern? That the child will claim Ferelden's throne? I will not share my plan with you. I dare not. If your trust is insufficient, then your anger will have to do. My plan is to leave and prepare the child for what is to come. Such preparation requires time and power. I must have both if I am to be successful. More than this, I dare not say, even to you.
My son and I have never played it safe. Never kept to the tried and true roads. In fact, we have just returned from adventures while accompanying the hero of Ferelden, legendary Grey Warden and vanquisher of the Blight.
So you helped to defeat the Blight?
In our small way, perhaps. We did not fight at the Grey Warden's side, of course. I hear that the hero is married to the king now. Fancy that. A Grey Warden queen. But surely my past is hardly of interest to the likes of you.
Alistair. King of Ferelden. And this is Tegan, my uncle. Sort of.
I'm actually Tegan. I'm only sort of his uncle.
Your Majesty, may I say what an honor it is to meet you.
Well, you could, but you'd be the first today.
I fought at Ostagar. What happened there was a great tragedy.
Ah, yes. Yes, it was. Thankfully, the man responsible has paid for that.
Say, weren't you a Grey Warden once?
That's the rumor. Wait. Weren't you?
That's the rumor.
Huh. I guess we get around.
So, you're a king now. Moving up in the world.
Isabella, right? You look different.
Don't we all?
I was hoping we could talk. Would have been better timing before being emasculated by Meredith, but I'm not picky.
I'm surprised you would even know who I am.
I know you came here from Lothering, a Ferelden refugee that did well for himself, against all odds. I have to admit, I was hoping your influence in Kirkwall might be of use. Things haven't been going well with Orlais. Without a Viscount here, however, there's only the Knight Commander to deal with.
You were having an argument about mages.
Yes, well, apparently I don't feel the same way about mages as the Chantry does. So, we're in disagreement. That means they get nasty. They're like that.
Sounds like the Circle is better off in Ferelden.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Sadly, I don't control the Circle. I can only deal with mages outside the Circle, of which there aren't many.
Aren't they in your kingdom? Why not just kick the Templars out?
Ha! Easier said than done.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
We'll see what comes of it. Ferelden had a blight to contend with, remember? We're not exactly at our strongest.
A lot of your people fled to Kirkwall, you know.
I know. I wish I could have helped them. Their blight devastated the kingdom, and afterwards, well, it hasn't exactly been peaceful. They're welcome back, of course, as are you. But after so many years away, would you still consider it home?
Ferelden will always be my home.
I hope we see you back there someday. We could use someone like you, champion.
Is there to be a war, then?
I hope not.
You're more optimistic than I am.
Empress Celine is doing her best. Orlais isn't the most stable place right now.
What's happening in Orlais?
Oh, the usual. Attempted assassinations, uprising, fancy parties with stinky cheeses. Apparently, some Orlesians think it would be grand to get their lost province back.
Well, we won't let them swoop down on us, will we?
That's right. Swooping is bad.
Do you really think there's something I can do?
Sadly, it may be too late. Meredith got wind of my arrival sooner than I'd hoped. What you can do is protect Kirkwall. It will take someone like you to keep it from falling apart.
Protect Kirkwall from what exactly?
You ask me, the biggest threat to this city just walked out the door. But maybe that's the ex-Templar in me talking. Well, I suppose I should get back to the old ball and chain.
You know the Queen hates it when you call her that.
No, she doesn't. Just because she killed an archdemon, she doesn't scare me.
You keep telling yourself that, Your Majesty.
How may I serve?
You said that Clarel is Warden Commander. I thought that the hero Ferelden led the Wardens.
There is more than one Warden Commander. Each oversees a region, most often a single nation. The woman you speak of was Warden Commander of Ferelden, as well as Queen Consort to Alistair. She disappeared some time ago. It is possible she joined the rest of the Wardens, though I cannot say for certain.
One thing which makes me curious, did you encounter the hero of Ferelden at Adamant Fortress?
Was the hero of Ferelden a friend of yours?
We traveled together during the time she fought the Blight. I helped her, and she helped me. Indeed, without her, my son would never have been born. Regardless, did you see her?
I have no idea, Morrigan. There was a great deal of chaos.
She's not the sort of woman to fade into the background. If she was there, you would have known. When the champion of Kirkwall mentioned a Grey Warden ally, I assumed it would be she. It was, after all, just the sort of thing in which she would involve herself. But that rather begs the question, if the hero of Ferelden was not at Adamant, where is she? My suggestion? Track her down. She could be a great aid against Corypheus, or a terrible foe to the Inquisition.